Ready to go. All right. I think we're ready to go. Let me check my phone here, make sure it's up. That way it's we got 4. 1 second, brother. This StreamYard stuff, this is my second time using it, so you can call me a noob if you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're good. Okay, all right, ready to go. All right, guys. So before we get started here, I appreciate everyone that's going to hop in on this live. I'm really excited to have this opportunity to speak with my brother Mike right here with his company. So if you guys are going to join the chat, do us a favor, drop any questions you guys have. That way we can answer them periodically as we are talking. So, Mike, how we doing today, brother?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. Still, I woke up at 6 a.m. I forgot it's daylight savings time. I was freaking out. Like, what the heck's going on right now?
That was the conversation we had early this morning. So
I know, right?
Time for me, the time change, and then so we made it. We're here.
Yeah. So where are you located?
I'm in Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Have you always been there?
Yeah. I lived here my whole life.
Nice, dude. So we're gonna dive into this right away. So I've been a big fan of Micro Gainz. I think we actually talked, I want to say over a year and a half ago, about your product, and I've been using it religiously 2 to 3 times a week. So if you could, for our audience here, start out by saying your name and your business.
Yeah, my name is Mike Reed. I'm the owner of the company Micro Gainz. We make USA-made weightlifting equipment for barbells, dumbbells, and weight machines. Like I said, all the stuff we make is made in the USA. Started the company back in 2016, and still going strong here in 2022.
Excellent, brother. So you're saying you started back in 2016. To kind of piggyback off that, what made you want to start doing this kind of business? What kind of sparked you that you want to get into like the equipment brand?
So I was a weightlifter myself, power lifter. Was into powerlifting for a couple years, and was following just like a linear progression model of training. So doing squats, bench, deadlift, overhead press, adding 5 pounds every other exercise to try to get stronger. Progressive overload, I'm sure you're familiar. Yeah. And eventually I hit a plateau on bench overhead press. It's really tough to go up by 5 pounds over time on those lifts. So I thought, hey, there's got to be another way without, like I did the things, I deloaded, I changed the reps and sets, things like that. And I thought, heck, there's got to be a way to keep the progress moving forward with just smaller weight plates. And the smallest weight plate you can typically find is a 2.5 pound plate, which means the smallest jump you're making is a 5 pound jump. So, you start off benching 100, then 105, 110, 115, so on and so forth until you plateau. I thought, hey, there must be like a smaller plate out there. I remember going on Amazon back in 2016 and seeing like what was available. I thought the options for fractional plates was really limited. And I thought, everything was made overseas. I thought, you know what, I can probably make these myself. So I went to a laser cutter and was like, okay, let me just cut out a couple of these discs basically. And let me get 1/4 pound, 1/2 pound, 3/4 pound, 1 pound, the 4 original sizes we started with. Can you guys cut out of steel? They cut it out of 3/16 inch steel. And then they did, I think 25 of each size. So we started off with just 100 plates and then brought them to my shed, cleaned them off, put this big piece of plywood at the back of my shed, screwed it in, put a bunch of nails on it and hung the plates up. And then I literally spray painted them black front and back. And then came with a Micro Gainz, got some stickers. Once where they were painted black, we put like a Micro Gainz sticker and then the weight. So it'll say 0.25 lb, 0.50 lb. Yeah. Packaged them up as sets. And then in February 2017, started selling them on eBay as an 8-plate set.
Dude, I that's awesome, man. It's almost like you're living like an American dream right now. So everything is obviously made in the USA. And I feel like that's just super your passion, brother. Like I see it like on your Instagram. To add, your Instagram reels are hilarious.
We try to stay relevant, that's for sure.
Yeah. I kind of want to ask you a question on those. Like, is that like a marketing scheme or you like just do it for fun or what are you thinking?
I think it's a mix. I think we do it for fun. I try to see whatever stuff's trending on TikTok and try to obviously relate it to a Micro Gainz niche. You see a ton of different videos related to a lot of different niches. I don't think a lot of people in like the equipment business obviously are running a lot of social media or a lot of TikToks and things like that. And I think what it does is like humanizes the brand instead of just talking about every day about fractional plates, dumbbell plates. and keeping it very serious and trying to sell something all the time, which if you look at our Instagram, we hardly ever try to sell anything. We just talk about our products. We try to like I said, humanize it, see that like we run this company and we're going to have fun with it. And whether or not that's relating a dumbbell plate to a certain niche, or the most recent one I did yesterday was like if they steal your iCloud and they want to charge you $1 million for it, like, who are you actually going to get? And then for me, it's literally pictures of Micro Gainz stuff and then like a few family pictures mixed in. Like they're not going to get a lot, but I think once again, it's like, oh, this guy's just another guy. It's not, Micro Gainz is not a big corporation. You can get in touch with us. We're not one of the big equipment companies that you maybe have trouble getting in touch with a real person. We're here for you. And I think that makes it a little lighter, a little lighthearted, I guess.
No, I agree too. I feel like being in the social media realm for so long, a couple of years, being authentic, brother. I feel like being authentic and your true self really helps sell your brand more. Do you agree?
100%. Yeah. I mean, if you want to like bend the truth or lie or whatever about your story, eventually it's going to catch up to you. People are going to call you out. People love to call out people for stuff like that. So very authentic, very true. Here's what our stuff is. It really is made in the USA. It really is made in my local town. Like, you can ask questions about it. We're going to answer them. And I have nothing to hide.
And I think that's what's really helped build your business more, is that people see that. I know I see that, and many others do, because you've grown very popular. So a question, when did you start actually doing this full time?
I started doing Micro Gainz full time in July 2020. So I ran the business on the side. I had a full-time job in grocery retail management, and I ran Micro Gainz on the side for 4 years until I basically could no longer do that, and then decided to go into Micro Gainz full time. So definitely an important tip is don't quit your job right away. Definitely, run it as a side hustle. What turned into like maybe working on the weekend turned into working on it daily, turned into working on it every night. You get home from work, working 7 to 5, and, have dinner with the family, spend some time with them, and then work on Micro Gainz from 9 to midnight, and then wake up in the morning, print off orders at 5 a.m., go to work, repeat. And then a lot of my days off then started to turn into more Micro Gainz stuff. Mm-hmm. And then the pandemic hit and sales really, really blew up because, we make our stuff in the US. So we were able to get supply where a lot of competitors were not able.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like, can you hear me? Oh,
I think we're here.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I froze for a second there. No. So to kind of go off what you're saying too, the pandemic, so that definitely boosted your sales, right?
Yeah. Yep. And then that kind of like when the pandemic hit, like March, sales started to go up. April and May were really heavy. June was really heavy. And by then it was like, I just had to get out and do it full time. We started to sell some different products where we've always been known for fractional plates. We started selling 2.5s, 5s, and 10s because of the need. There wasn't anything available on Amazon and stuff. So we started getting those steel laser cut. And then, it just became much too difficult to do both. I mean, I was just I don't even know how many hours I was working plus doing my full-time job, that it just became like necessary. And it was actually July 4th, 2020 was the last day I worked in retail, and then started to do this full-time. And now I've been doing this full-time for over 2 years.
That's awesome, man. What, I guess a personal question, what were you doing before Micro Gainz?
I guess I mentioned before, I was in grocery retail. I worked for a regional grocery chain called Wise Markets. And then before that I worked for Walmart. And so I've been in retail management for 15 years of my life, pretty much since I've been able to work, I worked in retail. So very familiar with that space and the business sense there. And I think that probably maybe helped a little bit. Like I'll be perfectly honest. I was not a very entrepreneurial, more analytical. I kind of really figured, like I have a degree in business from Penn State, and really figured I would just work in retail corporations, work my way up, become a district manager, regional manager, et cetera, et cetera. And then eventually got this entrepreneurial bug of like, retail is not that great. You work weekends, you work holidays, you work a lot of hours. It's not a 40-hour week job. It's a 50 or 60-hour week job. And it was just like, maybe I can, get another way out. And I'll be honest. I mean, Micro Gainz was a hobby to make a few extra bucks. And then I never even took any money out actually of Micro Gainz for the first 4 years.
Really?
I've invested every single dollar back in the company, never spent $1.
Completely commendable, brother.
Yeah, that's tough because you want to take the money out, right? And
yeah, 100%.
I knew working full time that I could reinvest that money back in the company, and I don't think a lot of people want to do that. And it takes time. You're not going to build something in 6 months.
No, absolutely not. The question before I ask about more of your products is, So as a guy who started your own business, if someone come across this, watching this, what is your advice to someone that wants to start a business? Like, what are some things that you did to help you jumpstart this, and just the best advice you can give, essentially?
If you're going to do what I did and start some type of product-based business, the best thing to do is look around and see who else is selling something like it. Like, you have an idea for something. It was microplates in my case. I'll use that as an example. First thing I did was go to Amazon and see if they sell microplates there, because like Amazon's the biggest marketplace. They sell a lot of stuff. Take a look there, start to write down some of the competitors, start to write like what they do well, what they do poorly, read their reviews, see what people are complaining about, look at their price point, go to some other, maybe some gym related websites, take a look at those, some review sites, Reddit, forums, things like that. I mean, Discord wasn't even really a thing, I think, back then.
I don't think so. No,
not at least for weightlifting. It might've been for video gaming, but that's a good way just to get started, to get an idea, I actually made a spreadsheet. I remember this, of like competitors, what their material, like what the plate was made out of, how much they were charging, how many were in a set, things like that. And then I figured, okay, I'm going to call around some local manufacturers, see if I can get something made and be competitive in the space. And it's good to have some type of niche. So I wasn't just making barbell plates. I was making fractional plates. So quarter, half, 3/4, 1 pound, 1.25 pounds. So there's already a niche right there. And if you can break into that niche a little bit, because there wasn't a lot of competitors at the time, you can maybe stand out a little bit. And that's what you have to do if you start your own business. You definitely want some type of niche. You don't want to be the next Amazon. You don't want to go against Walmart. You want to find something that a few people like. And then nowadays, I would take that product, send it to review sites like LMZ Fitness, like Garage Gym Experiment, like Garage Gym Reviews, and see if people like that can do a product review. And that's how you start to slowly grow your business. Obviously, starting an Instagram, a Facebook, a Twitter, a LinkedIn, a TikTok, to kind of, make more people aware of your brand is very helpful. We started Instagram back in 2017. I didn't even have a website until 2018. I ran the whole first year selling on eBay.
Really?
Which is another good piece of advice, is you don't need a website to sell your stuff. You can get started right away by popping it on eBay, which is what I did for the first 4 or 5 months of Micro Gainz. And then we added on to Amazon. I didn't have a website until March, April 2018. So, don't wait to get started. And because someone's going to come up with your idea, and you're going to say, man, my idea, ideas are complete trash without execution. So, there's so many ways to get started and get going and get it into the hands of people that are interested in it. And I think that's my best piece of advice just for starting out.
I think that's great, brother. And you made a good point too. Like, Amazon is just like the big time where everyone, you probably noticed too. Have you gotten people to knock off your stuff since you started? Have you saw anything?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the fractional plate business is bigger than it was, and it's still mostly companies that are made overseas. Like, they're, like for instance, Rogue makes fractional plates. I think Titan might make fractional plates. It's a very small part of their business, where it's my main business. My competitors are mostly companies that sell on Amazon under brand names you've never heard of, they're just selling stuff at wholesale to get, purchases, right? Just brand names you've never heard of, random names. And then for them, it's all a race to the bottom. Like, we used to be a very competitive priced product on Amazon. Honestly, it's weird because as inflation's gone up, somehow fractional plates have gone down in price.
Really?
So I'll give you an example. Like, back in 2017, when we started selling, a fractional plate set, I think I was selling for $30 to $35, somewhere in there. Most of my competitors were $35 to $40, $39.99, $38.99 for an 8-plate set. That would be 2 quarters, 2 halves, 2 3/4, 2 1-pounders. And now those same exact companies 5 years later are selling it for $20.99, $28.99, $27.99. And my unfortunately for me, I mean, my stuff's gone up because everyone's has, except for somehow fractional plates.
That's kind of
it's tough. Like, our fractional plate set's now $42.99, and we make it here. Obviously the margin's not going to be as good, but now we're $10, $11 more than the competitors that I originally tried to compete on price. So instead of doubling down on fractional plates, we obviously came up with other products to help: the dumbbell plate, the jack stand, other products like that, the gym pin, to try to stay relevant instead of just, doubling down on what we were doing.
Exactly. It's kind of funny. That was my question I was going to ask you is, so on your website, if I were going on your website, everything I can see, what are you selling? And what are any new products you have out that you would like people to know that are watching now or will watch in the future?
We were originally definitely known for fractional plates. We're probably more known now for the dumbbell plate, which is a product that clamps onto the handle of dumbbells. You have a set. They work on your Powerblocks, I believe.
Yeah.
And we developed that product back in 2016 when I started the company, came out with something in 2018, which was an older version. You may or may not have seen it had a rubber band around it. We sold that for a couple years. And then we transformed it into the 2.0 version, which is like a spring-loaded version that we launched back in September 2021. And that has done exceedingly well. We sell it in a 1 pound size, a 1.25 pound size, and then we have a pre-order on right now for a 2.5 pound size. So now you're able to bridge the gap on all your dumbbells, where before a dumbbell stationary, you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. But if you need a 22.5 pound dumbbell or a 37.5 pound dumbbell or a 92.5 pound dumbbell, you're able to get that by putting on the Micro Gainz dumbbell plates. Same thing with our bigger product. So like the 2.5 that's coming out.
Yeah.
Maybe you got those 5 pound jumps now, right? So now you buy a 55, a 65, a 75, an 85. You can buy one set of Micro Gainz and you can sell all your other ones. Take that $1,000 because those are not cheap dumbbells, and then buy a Micro Gainz set to replace half a rack of dumbbells. You can save space and money doing something like that.
And that is something I wanted to piggyback off, is the space saving aspect of what your product adds. For someone like me who has a very, so I don't know, like, like my garage is 2-car garage. We only ended up taking 1 car out to use. And your product, a lot of people need to realize, is like dumbbells are very expensive. So think about like a 91.5 pound dumbbell. How much do you think that probably costs? Like
probably $200 for one.
Right. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's a lot. And if they were to get a set of, so how much is just a set of your 1.25s again?
$50 for a 2-pack and $100 for a 4-pack, basically. And
so that's already right there. How much money you save in a couple $100 already by
just
getting
on one dumbbell. Like people look at it from a perspective of like, oh my gosh, that's 5 pounds for $100. Like that's outrageous. And I'm like, it's not really, considering it'll save you $1,000 in dumbbells. And that has been one of the toughest messages we've had to tell people, is like the advantages to it are very big. And I know it sounds expensive, but for instance, obviously these are made in the USA. They're highly machined. We have to coat them. We have to hand assemble each one, and then we have to ship it to you. It's not going to be the price of a 2.5 pound cast iron plate you find at Walmart. It's not going to be $3 or $5.
No,
it's a higher end product. It's definitely worth it. And it can replace, people will see, well, I'll just get the next dumbbell up. If I'm at the 20, I'm going to go to the 25. Well, you can't always go up by 5 pounds. Are you curling 200-pound dumbbells?
Oh, absolutely. I wish.
Yeah.
Why not?
Bigger, 5 pounds every time. So why not? How come everybody can't be lifting cars and stuff like that? Well, eventually people plateau, and that's where these come into play. Going up by 2.5 pounds on certain exercises would be really important. And buying a 42.5 pound dumbbell is not really feasible. So we're giving people that option to they buy a 42.5, a 47.5, a 52. You can replace so many dumbbells. And that's what we try to relay the message to about that, is it's just going to save you a lot of money and space.
Massive amount of space. Cause like mine, I don't know if you can see, it's in this basket back here somewhere. It's over, I can't even see where my finger is. And it's very small, doesn't take up a lot of space. And like for me, a question in a second here is, with my dumbbells, they go to 92.25, but I love that I could put one of the 1.25s on. I have the increment between 90 and 92.5. Because like, for instance, say I'm doing incline at 90 and I can get 7 reps. I'm like, okay, I want to get 5 next time. I probably 92.5. I don't know if I can get 5. So if I put on your Micro Gainz, that gives me that trying to crush that PR to get to that point. And I feel like that's a lot of people need out there to notice, is like, A, space saving, B, it gives you that increment that you're missing in your dumbbells. And especially for a fact that not a lot of people can afford a full rack of dumbbells like that. Not a lot of people have that disposable income. So what you're doing, man, is very commendable. Want to let you know.
Definitely appreciate that. I think like one of the other big things I usually get for the dumbbell plates is, well, why don't you just do more reps, right? Well, like not everybody wants to do more reps. If that's the case, you only need a 5 pound dumbbell. Just rep it out 100 times.
Yeah.
And people want to get stronger. And typically that means you're going up in weight on a dumbbell. So it's not always about adding 5 more reps every time. People, that's going to burn a lot more time at the gym. That's a lot. And people aren't, just adding a little extra weight is sometimes all you need, because you want to get 8 reps, 5 reps, like you were just saying. You might not have to, you could rep out 80 for 10 reps, but you want to do 92.5 for 5. because that's your goals. And that's what a lot of people are. And there's like a psychological thing about it too. Like, do you want to rep it out 27 times, or do you want to add a little extra weight every time? You see the progress going forward, right? Maybe you couldn't do the reps for 50 pounds, but you can do it at 47 and a half, but you're not stuck at 45 then forever. So it's a good way to break a plateau and keep you like mentally going forward.
It does. And I feel like, so I had this question was later. How long have you been working out for?
Oh, geez. Probably like barbell, probably 2013, 2014. And I've been like an active cyclist my whole life, like road cyclist. So I've been very into that. I'm working out now, barbell. I do that a lot now, but I've enjoyed it for 8-9 years probably.
Right. Yeah. And like as an avid lifter for both of us, like we want to get stronger. That's the whole point of lifting. Like I feel like weightlifting is about constantly working your way up the ladder to get to the next step. And again, like with you, what you provide for people is what we can have, especially in a home gym. I think a question I wanted to ask you is, so with the home gym, like anyone out there watching, your fractional plates for clamping on, what dumbbells do they work for all of them? Because someone might be watching like, ooh, does it work for this and this?
I would say our dumbbell plates clamp on to about 99% of dumbbell handles. Some of the ones that they don't work with are the Powerblock Elites. The cage is too small on those. They won't fit inside, but they could clamp on the little cage part outside, but they do work on the pros and the sports, but they won't work on the elites. I've had people, they work on like Nuobells, but the problem with a Nuobell is the dumbbell handle is so short that it doesn't leave enough room on each side of your hand for a dumbbell handle, depending on how wide your hands are. It does matter how wide your hands are. The plates themselves, at least the 1 1/4s are 3/8 inch thick. A typical dumbbell handle is 5 to 5 1/4 inches long, at least from my experience from seeing. But they're going to fit on pretty much any dumbbell. They'll fit on kettlebells as well. And I've had very few dumbbells where it really won't work because it just has to clamp on a handle. That's the advantage of having it versus like the ones that magnetize to the end. So those ones, those only magnetize to certain types of dumbbells, but they won't magnetize to the rubber coated ones, the neoprene coated ones, Powerblocks, weird shaped ones, stuff like that. It might not work as well with where this one will clamp on pretty much any dumbbell with a handle.
Which is great because for me, I can get 2 on. So it gives me 2.5 pounds and I can get my hand in, but there's not a ton of room left. So I guess it would depend on like if you have bigger hands, wider hands, it could make a difference. But that's good enough for anyone out there that's, because I know that's probably a common question you get is, does it work for this and this? It
is. Most people's hands leave a little bit of room on each side. No one, like the distance, like my hand width, I think is like 3.5 inches. Most people don't have a 5-inch wide hand. That would be a very big hand. So they can fit something on there. Even with our bigger size, the 2.5s, which are a little more than 1/2 inch thick, people can still fit their hands on with those.
And see, and that's really important to know. So the next question I got for you is, the home gym community, I feel like 2020 is where it started to grow more. Why do you think your product would be, I guess your pitch or something, would be a great fit for someone? So say if someone wants to start a home gym, why do you think they should have your product part of their equipment?
I think most serious lifters are going to see the advantages of fractional plates. And maybe that's as small as like 1 1/4 pound plates. But eventually you are going to plateau. Like you are going to have what, they'll call them newbie gains, and you're going to be able to add 5 and 10 and 20 pounds at a time. Like I never tell people just start with 1 1/4, go up by 45s, go up by 25s, go up by 10s, as long as you can. But everybody is eventually going to hit some type of plateau. We offer a way to get over that plateau, and it's good to have because depending on the move you're doing, like you might be able to go a long time on deadlift and squat going up by 5s, but you're not going to be able to do that on bench press or overhead press or something like that. You're going to need some type of smaller plate, a bicep curl, for instance, or an easy curl bar, or doing barbell curls. Like you're just not going to be able to go up by 5s forever, and you're not going to want to rep it out forever. A lot of people are training for strength, even stuff on the, doing like Olympic barbell like moves, like a clean and jerk or a power clean. Going up by just a little bit less is important. Plus, there's like a lot of people that are into this percentage lifting too. So you're going to lift 87% of your max or 93% or things like that. Someone just tagged me today about a percentage lift, and that way they can put on 3/4 pound or a 1/2 pound, and it's a pretty inexpensive version of like everything you bought. So people buy expensive barbells, $400 or $500 barbells, $1,000 racks, $2,000 worth of plates. And then it's, comes down to our plates, and it's kind of like, oh geez, like $40. And it's like, yeah, but you're getting 8 plates for $40, and they're calibrated, which means they're plus or minus 5 grams, and they're going to fit nice. They're going to last forever, and, they have a lifetime warranty on them against breaking. So, 50 years from now, if they bust, give me a call and we'll replace one.
Exactly.
But I think,
no, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I think that's why they're an invaluable on a rack or something really expensive.
Yeah, no, I think I agree too. I think that's the thing that people freak out about. Like, your products, they're not gonna. How are they gonna break? Like, they're gonna be something that are gonna last you a long time. And that's the thing about home gym equipment is you want to buy it now and then keep it for like longevity forever. And so I feel like your product definitely has that.
Definitely.
Can you hear me still?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if it's your internet or mine. It's probably mine. We have dinosaur internet over here in Illinois. It's not great. We still can't get Comcast here. We have like this random internet company that is like 25 gigabytes per second. So if I'm lagging, I apologize, guys. So this question we already answered. I guess this is for you. What are your goals for next year with Micro Gainz? So 2023, what are you trying to smash? What are you trying to hit?
To get heavy into 1/2 pound dumbbell plate launch here at the end of November. We have a bunch of pre-orders for that. We're coming up with like new ideas for products that sometimes get tested. Sometimes we go into production. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes I put stuff on my Instagram. Like we have a deadlift jack, they'll deadlift a trap bar that I put on a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty unique. No one's really making anything like that. Might be something we put in. I'm not afraid to put in something that we might sell 5 of or 10 of. Where some people, big companies aren't going to do that. They want to sell volume for stuff. We have a bunch of like little equipment, our dumbbell handles do okay. We have thick grip dumbbell handles, which are kind of cool. We've got like a microplate tree kind of up in this side, up in the corner up there. There's a little tree made out of wood. You can put your microplates on, put it in your gym. Just limited stuff like selling that. We're just going to keep on moving forward, get our name out there more, try to get on, more podcasts and get involved with more of the community, grow our page, keep on putting out funny videos, and try to keep on getting more people aware of what we do. We sell stuff every day, so people are finding out about us every day. And, I've been around for 6 years now, and people are still finding out about us. So we're just going to keep pushing forward and try to, if we get ideas, we'll try to put them out and keep going from there.
It's funny because you say that. So since like we've started talking about Micro Gainz and getting on this interview here, I've been getting ads on Instagram of your product, and it's funny how the internet works. Like, you start talking about it and it knows what's going on. It's social media. I feel like a question for you of how important is that for a brand to be on social media?
It's the most important thing for a brand. It is the number one thing. You have to be on social media. It is the only way to really communicate your brand, your goods and services, your whatever you do. You have to be on something, or else people just aren't going to know about you. I mean, how are you going to drive traffic there? You got to have an Instagram. You've got to have a Facebook. You really need to have a TikTok these days. You have to be on these things because people need, that's the best way to find you. It's not going to be your website, right? It's probably not going to be Google ads. You got to think like, how can I get the best bang for my buck? And if you're starting out, like, getting on TikTok's important because you can have one video that does 1 million views for no reason other than like organically, right? You don't have to pay for any of that stuff. So, you can see I'm running ads and things like that, obviously on Instagram and Facebook and things like that to try to attract customers. A lot of companies do that. We're going to do some stuff on TikTok now. And you have to have that to like people. I don't know. Like, I think if I think of any brand, I think I usually go and look at their social media and see what they're doing. People like that personal connection too, where like you can DM me and I'll get back to you, even versus even waiting for like an email or something like that. Really important part. You can't skip it these days. It's too ingrained right now. Got to be on it. Even if whatever your opinions are of social media and if it's good or if it's bad, you have to be on it to run a business at this point. It just would be too challenging not to.
And it's here to stay. Social media is growing vastly, and it's definitely one of the best ways to market, which is crazy. Like 20 years ago, like these brands, I don't, how would you get out? Would you like knock on people's doors or like put stuff in the newspaper ads, or it's just, it's here to stay. And like I mentioned that because there's companies that I noticed that their social media is dead and they're trying to sell stuff. I'm just like, how are you making money? You know?
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, it's not even always about selling stuff. It's trying to oftentimes about just providing value to your customers, right? Like, you could, like I said, look at my social media. I'm not every post I'm
No, dang it.
back now.
You got me?
Gotcha. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Like I said, you know, social is about like expressing yourself, not to sell something, give value to people, give them a reason to watch. I think it's funny. They like to follow Micro Gainz, but not necessarily hold something by me every day. A lot of businesses that every single post is buy my shake product. And no, my worst posts is the ones that I will come with a new product and say, hey, have dumbbell plate. It'll be 12 likes and that'll be it. Stay away from sold. No one likes to be sold to. So
Yeah.
you or do it over time.
100%, brother. It's just something that you got to utilize it to your advantage, to your audience, and like try to find different methods and ways to strategize to get the people interested, essentially.
Yeah.
Let's see. I got the next question I got for you is, have you heard about this home gym con? You got any thoughts on that? Are you going to go, or are you something you're considering?
I'll be there. I already signed up to go.
Really?
Yeah.
No way. Awesome. I think I've been seeing that all over the place, and it's actually in Indiana, so it's only like 3 hours from my house. So I'm thinking I should probably make the trip. Do you have any like intake on like what's going on with that for the audience? Like I'm kind of naive to everything going on with that, but what's the whole deal with that?
I'm going as a vendor, so I'm going to have a table there, and for
oh man, this internet. Dude, this internet is brutal. It's like the lag is real. Can you guys hear me in the chat? You guys hear me? Give it a sec, guys. We got to make sure that's it's working right now. I think there's just a little bit of lag on the end here. We'll get him back. 1 second. Let me send another invite. Hope you guys are enjoying this. This has been a really good conversation, guys. So I appreciate you guys sticking around here as I resend him the link again to get back in. 1 sec. Let me resend this out, guys. Check his Instagram and see if he's saying anything. You digging it? Can you guys hear me right now? The link. Yeah, man. Okay, awesome. How are you guys doing today? I resend the link to get back in here so we can talk. If you guys, while you're waiting to get him in here again, if you guys have any questions for him, let me know. I think it's just on his end. He's having some lag, which happens. Is this something that I've really wanted to utilize in the live streams, guys, is getting more brands out there that are a big impact on the home gym community, and Micro Gainz has made a big impact for me and others. And it's honestly been a true blessing to be a part of his brand, letting me create a video. If you guys haven't checked that out, let's make sure it's in the description on the Micro Gainz. And I'm going to see if I can get him back in here. Here he is. Mike.
Hey, sorry about that. I think my internet might have kicked off that time. Crazy.
It's not me. That's the dinosaur internet.
I don't know. My internet was running fine, and then all of a sudden, my computer didn't even pop up and say anything. So I actually have my computer tethered to my phone internet right now. So we'll see how that goes.
You're crystal clear now. Can you still hear me good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're good. Here, let's get back. So, okay. So we're back on Home Gym Con.
Yeah.
So what are you doing there?
Oh yeah, I'm going to be a vendor there. So I'm going to have a table. We're going to have some Micro Gainz products set up to sell and to use. From what I understand, Home Gym Con is more of like definitely a gathering of individuals, companies, and people that want to come check out the equipment, test stuff out, be for the whole weekend. It's a really nice hotel in a really nice area, and there'll be a really cool dinner. Like it's really like more of a meet and greet, and they want it to be more of like from what I understand, more of like an intimate setting. Like it's not going to be 10,000 people. It's going to be a couple hundred people, maybe 1,000 people. So they're keeping it small intentionally, I think. So there's more one-on-one time and things like that. So it was pretty neat. And it gives me a chance to meet everyone I've talked to on the internet, right? Like I've done podcasts with Jake, and now I might get the chance to meet him in person. So I'm excited about that. And the fact that it is kind of more of an intimate setting. So you're getting only like the most hardcore home gym fans, I would say.
Yeah.
So you can have passerbys and things like that. People that are coming there have to buy a ticket, which is a reasonable. I mean, it's a decent price, and I think that it's gonna be neat. And I think it'll be something. Hopefully, if it goes well, it'll be something that'll be looked to do every year, and it'll probably get bigger year after year.
I hope so, man. I think it's something that has definitely never been a part. Oh my gosh! Did you see this comment here? It says, "Can we freeze Luke and let Mike talk?" Oh my gosh, that's pretty good. That was pretty good. But no, man, I don't think this stuff's ever existed. So is Garage Gym Experiment the one that organized this?
Yeah. Jake Jaworski, the guy that runs it. It's his. I think it's his baby. He started the thing and is selling the tickets and the vendor spots and everything like that.
That's super cool, man. I'm hoping I can make it. I definitely put in my calendar to sign up. I think it'll be great to meet the people, see the different products, different things out there. Because for me, I've been very naive to like a lot of this equipment. Like most of the stuff in my gym, I had no idea existed. Because like commercial gym, you have your squat racks, your barbells, your dumbbells, you have your machines. But like your brand and product, I would have never known about if it had been the home gym community. So like it shows how much of an impact you have made on garage gym, basement gyms, home gyms. Now, are you trying to sell your products in commercial gyms as well?
That's such a common question, but no. We almost never get asked for commercial gyms. We do most of our stuff's direct selling right off the website to people that own their own garage gym, basement gym, people that want to pop the plates in their bag and take it with them. I have sold some stuff to some commercial gyms, but typically the answer is usually no, or they don't have any money, or they're not interested. You'd think that, not that I wouldn't love to hook up with, Snap Fitness or Planet Fitness and have a bunch of purple microplates in a gym, right? And sell 2,000 sets or something, But yeah, it typically doesn't, typically not in a gym sense. And oftentimes, even if it is, like they'll buy a set. So like I have in my local town here, not a very big town, 3 gyms. Like if I sold a set, you're talking about $100 in sales. It's not like you're selling massive gym packages to companies. Everyone has weight plates. The problem with the fractional plates is gym owners are worried about people stealing them. Same thing with the dumbbell plates is, it's an expensive product. So people are more like, they're worried about people taking them home with them and stuff like that. So I have sold some stuff to some colleges, some universities, but nothing like major. So we typically just go straight to consumer.
I think that's the best method. Someone actually just said that commercial gyms are probably worried someone's going to steal them. It makes sense though. It's such an easy way. You can just grab it and put it in your pocket and walk away. Like camera might not catch it. So it makes sense. You don't want that. Then you wasted creating that product and already it's gone. So it's like, it's not worth it. And selling it to guys like me or home gyms, they're going to utilize it because it's their own spot, their own space.
Right. Absolutely.
So let me see what else I got, because I said I want to keep this 45 minutes. This is good. I would say I think I really like your marketing strategies with guys like me advertising. I want to let you know I appreciate you letting a goof like me create a video to put out there. It's crazy to let you know, like it's still getting like 20, 30 views a day. So it shows that you're growing in this business. And I think that's super cool to see how much you are growing. And it's the grind, brother. Like how many hours a day you feel like you're grinding on Micro Gainz?
More than 8. The one of the good things and bad things about running your own business is you have to deal with it like 24/7. and it's never really off. So yes, I can take certain days off, or I can be off on the weekends, and not necessarily have to go and work. Like my employees that I have work Monday through Friday. But I'm always on. Like, this morning I had I answer questions from my website, right? I got like the messenger on there. I answer emails on the weekends. I'm in it 16 hours a day, probably. It's just constant. It's answering back all the comments that people leave on TikTok or Instagram. It's answering the emails, thinking. I woke up this morning and came down here, started working a little bit in my office. I usually do in the morning, even on weekends, just to catch up on a few things. And that's the tough part about running your own business, is you're just very ingrained in it all the time. And I don't like to make people wait a weekend to get back, right? Like if you email me on Friday, I'm going to probably email you back on Friday. I don't like to make people wait. And I think that's just 21st century business. I think that if you're not doing some of those things from a customer service standpoint, you're going to struggle. And I think people enjoy that, like that there's that real person there. I'm going to answer your question, try to solve it the best I can. And it just ends up me working on the business a lot more than it's really hard to shut it off. If I'm on vacation itself, like away from my office and out of state or something like that, I still bring my laptop with me and I'm still working on a couple different things, or taking a meeting or two. And that's just it. But for me, it's better than doing what I was doing, right? My own boss, I can set my schedule. I can work on it I get out of it as much as I put into it. And, the thing about running your own business, you have to be so self-motivated every day to get up and get going. That's not for everybody. It's definitely not for everybody. And I think there's a very big entrepreneur culture out there of like people thinking, I'm going to run my own business and it sounds great. And I'm going to have a Lamborghini and a huge house. And it's literally not the case.
It doesn't work like that. It doesn't.
It really doesn't. Not at all. So but you have to enjoy what you do every day or else you're not going to do it.
Dude, you should just go on Shark Tank. You should try. Try it.
I would bet. I think, and we've done probably some more sales volume than some of the people that get deals on Shark Tank. And I think our dumbbell plate would do really well because we have a patent on it. Except for I'm pretty sure they'd ask me to make it in China for less money. And that would be the toughest question for me to answer. So
I think that's the thing too, because a lot of people out there really respect the American-made product. Do you really take pride on that you make it yourself, make it in the USA? Do you think that really puts out a more of a marketable standpoint to people out there?
I do. I think it's important. It's important for us for a lot of reasons. One, we actually make our fractional plates and our dumbbell plates in my hometown. Like it's 10 minutes away from here. I can go to the facility that makes it. I can talk to the owners. I can see my products come off the assembly line. That is a really big advantage. There's no language barrier. There's no shipping in containers that's stuck in the Atlantic or the Pacific. I can go get my stuff. And that's really important for us for running a business. Is it more expensive? Yes. The quality is there, however. I know that like American-made stuff has been diluted over the years, and people think that maybe you're just not getting a great deal anyway. And people will talk like, "Oh, made in America, like who cares?" Well, it matters to us. Like people don't think about like for me in a small business, like I affect the whole local economy around here, right? Like the banner behind me on this side, right? That was made at a print shop that was local. The wood up there that makes like the weight plate tree, like that was from wood that was cut down in Pennsylvania. All my boxes are made 40 minutes from here at a box company. It just things like that. All of our spring for our dumbbell plate is made at a company 40 minutes from here. Our plates are coated at a place that's 30 minutes from here. Like we affect the local economy in a lot of ways. We put a lot of money back in. And even though we don't have like a physical store or something like that, I mean, my employees actually drive over counties to come work for me, and they're spending their money locally. So, we've developed this quite a business of using local people, local companies to build up this business. And it's really important for us. And then the quality really is there. And just to say that it's made in America doesn't mean a lot. Well, it does mean a lot to us. And you are really directly affecting made in the USA. Like I know you'll say, if it's made overseas, well, what about like the dock workers, right? What about the truck drivers and things like that? Like, well, that all is affected whenever I work my stuff too, the truckers and things like that. And I'm not knocking the quality of any overseas products either, because there's a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
But this is just the niche that we're in right now. And I think that if we decided to make a lot of our stuff overseas, I think we would lose some customer base that have come to really enjoy us making our stuff in America. It's not like we haven't explored anything, because sure, it'd be great to sell my dumbbell plates for a fourth of the price or something like that, but we might have to give up some quality on that. And I don't know if people would like that. And so we're okay being the size we are and making the products that we make.
I think that is super commendable too. I think the Made in USA thing is more beyond you're supporting local businesses, and especially like now with inflation, things are getting higher. Like you're supporting people, like you said, like your product, you're giving business to other companies to help their business grow here in the country we live in. Like, and you mentioned too, like it's not a knack on made in China. It's just you're supporting everyone around us that we're all trying to work together to grow. And I think that's a main reason why people respect what you're doing Made in USA is you're working with everyone around you in this country to help build their business and build yours too.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's awesome, brother. I think that was one of my last questions here. Trying to see anything else I can ask you before we can dive into the questions. No, I mean, got any questions for me?
No, I appreciate you having me on. It's been pretty fun. I think this is the first time I've done a YouTube live like this, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I hope that, yeah. I mean, only in the middle there, broke up for a minute, so at least we got back on track. Yeah, it's been pretty fun. Great questions, and I'm hopefully adding some value to the audience that's going to watch this now and watch it later. And I'm happy that you're finding some value in the products that we offer.
Oh, dude, I think I'm pretty sure they're still sitting on my Powerblocks right now because I used them yesterday, Friday. I didn't work out yesterday. I used them Friday and I was doing flat dumbbells. Did 91.25 for 8 reps. It felt pretty good. So I think I'm going to jump up the next one. But actually, no, I had this last question we're going to do. I have an Instagram question and a couple in the chat. Are you doing any Black Friday sales that people know about?
We will be doing a Black Friday sale. I'm not exactly sure what it will be 100% yet, but it will be all weekend long, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So definitely check out for that. Join the email list. Usually we give the email list a couple hours advance on that. Sometimes we'll even send that out Thursday, like Thanksgiving night. So you can do that. You can go to microgainz.com. There's a spot to fill in your email. You can DM me and I can add you to that. But in the past, we've done 15% off of orders up to $100, 20% off of orders over $100. There's a couple things where I'm messing with because we have this new pre-order for the dumbbell, the 2.5 pound dumbbell plates. It's a brand new item. We probably won't run that on sale because we gave like this pre-order discount for a little bit. So I'm not sure about that yet, but we will definitely be running a Black Friday sale. I see a lot of companies, I'm sure you see this, are running sales right now. Like November 1st, a lot of companies have been dropping stuff, but we're not Rep, we're not Rogue. So, we're going to be running something much tighter and it'll be Black Friday weekend, but definitely check out for that sale. We will do something.
I'm excited, man. Okay. So I'm going to give the chance for Instagram. I have an Instagram question and some chat questions and we'll wrap this up. Instagram question from Tim, my boy Tim from Go Rec Fit asks, what made you decide to go all in on this business?
I think the sales were there. I could see a path through, I guess, offering what we offered for like longevity. And I think that it's going to be a big part of I think it's gonna be like a big part of everyone's weightlifting repertoire over time. Like, I think because we exist, more people know about fractional plates than they used to. We've sold, I don't even know how many sets, 10,000 sets, more than that probably in the last couple of years we've been around. So we're getting, and that's probably just fractional plates, probably not even all the other stuff involved. When I said before, the first time we ordered plates, we ordered 25 of each size. I mean, now we order 2,500 of each size, every time we order something. So, we're getting 10,000, 20,000 plate orders and stuff like that, trying to keep up with demand. I foresee the future involving the fractional plates and the Made in the USA and the dumbbell plates. And it made me go all in because I believe in it a lot. And I believe we have a good enough niche to make it long-term. And we're not going to go into business anytime soon. And, we have some patents in place to try to help people from not copying our ideas or not coming out with something. And I just think that, we have no plans to be the next Rogue or the next Rep or Titan or anything like that. But I think we can be like a nice niche market for people to stay into. And it's good enough to make a business that's longstanding. We've already been selling for over 5 years, I've had the idea for over 6. And, that's pretty good sustainability. There's a lot of businesses that started in the pandemic that probably won't make it, over time. So, they started it because there were certain, products that they made and now they're struggling to sell them because other companies copied them or there's lower demand. I mean, I've heard that a lot in 2022 is obviously there was a huge jump in sales, even for us, right? 2020, we shot up. 2021, we were still going up. 2021, like in the summer, we had a major spike downward. And then we've slowly been rising back up through 2022. So, added some employees and things like that. So, and for me, I know that I can put in the work that is required to keep the business afloat and moving forward.
Dude, I think that's awesome, man. I think that the grind, you can just see in your passion and your grind for what you love to do. And I think anyone watching that's going to see that. And I hope that really helps drive more business to what you do because of how much you care and love for your business. No Fate asks, he wants to know how you raise your initial funding.
I didn't. So I've never really raised funding for Micro Gainz. I just used my own personal savings to start Micro Gainz. I believe I started with $1,000 that I took out of my savings account that I just had saved up. And that's how I bought my original plates. That's how I bought the stuff to paint them, things like that. And then I've just taken that money. We sold those products. And then we've just kind of folded over the money for, like I told you before, 4 straight years of putting the money back into the business before I was able to take any salary out for myself whenever I started it. I don't raise capital from anybody, or anything like that. We've just tried to cash flow the business as long as we can. And if we can't afford it, we don't buy it.
Yeah, it makes sense, brother. So he also asked, how do you deal with Amazon returns?
So Amazon returns come back typically automatically. If you're familiar with buying on Amazon, you can go right on the app and say, I want to return this. And it goes back to an Amazon facility. So we send a lot of our products to Amazon and it'll go back to a facility where they check it and deem it sellable or not sellable. And that's based on the condition of the product or the packaging. If it's not sellable, they automatically kick it back to us. And I get packages every week of products that were returned. I'll take a look at it and stuff. And if it's in good shape, we'll resell it as new, maybe just put a new box around it, or we'll sell it like a bent and dent sale that we do a couple times a year. Sometimes if you ever watch my stuff, we have I want to call it like a series of Amazon randomly sends me back weird stuff. And I've got instead of, today, it's like an episode on today, what did Amazon send us back? I got some stuff over here, a cassette tape. I've gotten table stands. I've gotten other people's weight plates. I've just gotten a mess of, I got light bulbs last week.
Hey,
right. So the question is where are the plates at? Were these products the same value? How did I get this back? And it's not really transparent on Amazon's side how this happens. And unfortunately, or fortunately, it's just part of doing business on Amazon.
Yeah, it seems like kind of a little bit of a hot mess.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. So Tim, he was the one to ask the Instagram question. He also has asking you, is everything in your house or do you have vendors for some of the processes?
I don't know how specific. We pick, pack, ship, and assemble everything in house. For instance, we don't physically make our steel plates. I don't have a steel laser cutter and we don't bring in slabs of steel and do that. We typically do the finishing work on products. Our micro plates are pressed and then we have a company coat them and then we pack them. So I don't have a third party doing any kind of pick, packing or shipping. We do that every day. We fill orders from the website, Amazon, eBay, Walmart.com, Etsy, anything that we might sell on. But we have vendors that obviously we work with and manufacturers, but we kind of do all that in house as much as we do as much in house as we can. There's a dumbbell handle behind me back here somewhere. And those are machined at a company. We don't have machining capabilities. We don't have a lathe or a milling machine or anything like that. So we do source some of that out. But once again, we assemble the stuff and ship it.
Awesome, man. So the next guy, Bill's asked, would you do business with Matt Canada or would you refuse the sale? Maybe charge him double.
Matt Canada, the Steelers offensive coordinator.
Oh my gosh.
I'm assuming that's what he's talking about. Obviously he knows I'm a Steeler fan. They have a bye week this week, so that's why I'm able to be on the call, right? Yeah, man, I would like to see some changes on offense. We'll sell to everybody. We always say that. We don't, we don't not sell to people that I don't like or something like that. We say Micro Gainz is a very neutral company. We'll sell to anybody that wants to make gains, including Matt Canada in this case. Although as an offensive coordinator, maybe hasn't made the best decisions through the first 8 games. We're sitting at a pretty bad 2-6 rookie quarterback. It's rough out there right now.
I feel you with the Bears, man. I'm constantly disappointed every year with their performance. So I've been more involved with the Bulls, which they've been okay. But you still got to support them, even though they're disappointing you a little bit,
Yeah, for sure.
So we've got someone here. ZML said, cool product. You sold me on the value. Going to get a set of fractional plates. Look at that, huh?
Hey,
We just got a sale right there, huh?
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad he saw the value and saw what we're trying to do here. So I appreciate that. Appreciate the business.
Awesome. We got 2 more questions and we'll wrap this up. Bill also asked, do you have a firm date with the 2.5 plates while we'll start shipping?
On the website, I have late November. I guess that could be as late as November 30th. I've been following up daily about when those plates are. The plates, from what I understand, are done being pressed and made. They have to still get coated, and I'm hoping that happens in the next 2 weeks so we can have the stuff ship out on time by the end of November. I didn't want to put a hard date because there's just so many things that can happen in between of like manufacturing delays and this, like I said, this still has to get coated black, matte, or we get it powder coated. So that could take a week or 2. And then we have to assemble each product ourselves. So we'll be working double time to make sure we get those out. And definitely end of November, I'm hoping for everybody that's pre-ordered.
Dude, exciting. I hope that blows up and does really well for you because that's a nice little added increment. So is it a question for me too? So it's like similar to the 1.25, but instead it's 2.5s.
Correct. Same exact design, bigger spring, bigger rivet, and the plates are twice the size. So, but there's been so much demand for it that we pretty much had to put it out, and it took a little longer to put out than I would have liked. There was some manufacturing delays and some constraints, but we finally got it. And I'm pretty excited about this product.
Dude, twice the size and twice the gains, baby, right?
That's it.
We're in. All right, last question, and we're going to wrap this up. Alex wants to know, where do you see your company in 3 years?
I hope to see, hopefully we've grown. We've got a few more associates. Maybe we even move into like a slightly bigger building. This is my home office. This is where we ship everything from in here, but we actually have a place where we do all of our production. It's about 5 or 6 miles from my house. We rent some warehouse space out for that. That's where we assemble all the dumbbell plates, put together all the sets, and ship everything and receive stuff because we have like a dock there that we can receive. Maybe in a couple of years, maybe a bigger company like a Rep or a Rogue or a Kabuki wants to acquire us or something like that. I don't think that's, I'm sure you can see that there hasn't been like a ton of acquisitions or a ton of mergers in the weightlifting space. It seems to happen a lot in the tech space and other things, but in weightlifting, not really. I mean, I know Rogue bought Ghost, and that was a big deal, but there hasn't been a lot of major mergers. I think like weightlifting is still kind of fractured, right? Like where if you talk to somebody on the street and you ask them like, what's your favorite weightlifting brand? They probably wouldn't know a brand, or they might say like York, right? Or Gold's Gym or something you can find at Walmart. And it's just like, I don't think if there's like national, it's not like, like Walmart is very national. So I think over time though, there's going to be companies that are going to sell and become part of a bigger company because that's how it seems to always work.
Yeah. And I agree, man. It's something that you don't really just going to keep the grind up and kind of see what happens. But I feel like for you that you've created a nice niche of what you sell. And I like the fact that when you mentioned a while ago, you're not trying to be like Rep, Rogue. You want to stay in your spot, your space, and create your brand based off what you have. And I think that's what shows the more authentic self, and it shows your grind on creating your own brand and your own business.
Yeah, I think it's important too that like we're okay like stepping outside of the box. If like in 3 years from now we're not selling fractional plates anymore because it becomes unsustainable, that's okay. Like we're not going to hang on to anything that doesn't really move, right? I mean, and that's okay to build your brand and evolve your brand. We don't always have to be known as the fractional plate company. We might be known someday as the rack company. I don't know, or barbells, right? Like we might be known as that. We don't have to always stick to something that might not work in the future.
No, it's something that it's a shift. Like you never know where the market's going to go, where business is going to go. It's kind of just you're rolling with the punches and kind of just seeing what works out,
For sure.
So we're going to wrap this up. Mike, I appreciate you coming on the channel, man. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. So I hope you had a good time. Yeah, I hope my questions were solid. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on. So it was really cool.
And
happy to answer the questions. And if anybody else has any questions, reach out to me on Instagram. You can send me a DM. I get back to people really quick. You can email me, mike@microgainz.com, Gainz with a Z, and we get back to emails really quick as well. So I'm pretty easy to get in touch with if you have any questions about any of our products or anything like that.
Absolutely. And guys, in the description, I also put his website, and I put his social media in the description to check him out. I also put my video of the Micro Gainz in the description. Mike, it was a pleasure, brother. I really had a good time. Appreciate you coming on, man. And I really hope for the success with your brand, because I know for me and a lot of people out there, we appreciate what you do for the home gym
Thank
community.
you. Thanks, Luke. I appreciate it.
All right, Mike. Good to see you, brother.
All right.
We'll talk soon.
All right. See you
All
later.
right. See you. Bye.